Welcome back. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Chopra. The Republic Day Parade 2025 had India's military might on display. For the first time, a tri-services tableau comprising of the Indian Army, Indian Air Force and Indian Navy and symbolizing the unity of the armed forces was presented. It's right there on your screens. With the theme of Shashakt or Surakshit Bharat, Strong and Secure India, the tableau depicted a battlefield scenario demonstrating synchronized land, water and air operations. It featured indigenous defense assets such as the Arjun main battle tank, the Tejas MKI fighter aircraft, the advanced light helicopters, destroyer INS Vishakhapatnam and a remotely piloted aircraft as well. Before we get into some of the specifics of what was on display, I have with me on the broadcast Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, and we also with us Major General Sanjay Meston with us today. I want to begin with Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, for the first time ever, we decided to put the tri-services together in a tableau. The significance of that, sir?
Basically, Deepika, it was with a view to ensure jointness. You know, the jointness, the synergy, and when we are talking about theaterization, it's very important that there ought to be jointness first and foremost, and that would automatically lead, because each one of these systems are all different. Everybody is playing a different kind of role, but when synergized, when there's jointness, and that is the purpose of this particular tableau, which had land, air, and the maritime, all three combined together with the view to be able to show that together we can work, and together we will ensure the destruction of the enemy. It is in that context we had this tri-services tableau. I think this particular thing was a very good show. I would, would say that jointness is something which is the most important thing, because it's no longer the conventional war alone. There's so many things that are playing a role on the battlefield. And when there is jointness amongst the three services, obviously, which finally, ultimately, we are working on theaterization, it would work and it would be a great success. It is in that context that we must see this tableau, which had both, or had all the three services, the Army, the Air Force and the Navy. Yeah.
Okay, Major Sanjay Meston, your thoughts on the same as well, sir?
Right. You know, in today's warfare, jointness and integration are of utmost importance between the three services, and not only the three services, I would say even today, you know, space domain, underwater domain, everything is extremely important. So this is exactly highlighted that integration and jointness, interoperability, and more so. Today, the order of the day is that we have to have operational logistics also together. That means earlier, we had different nodes for the Army, different nodes for the Navy and for the Air Force, logistic nodes. For example, I'll just give you a small example in Mumbai itself or in the Southern Command. You know, now all the nodes, logistic nodes have now becoming jointness. So that means from the same logistic node, the Air Force, the Navy and the Army can draw their stores. And that is why I'm talking about such stores which have got interoperability and they can be used by all the three services. Of course, they will be having their specialized stores also. So, and that saves space, this saves security, it saves large number of things. And all this is rightfully so being done, because today the nation is going for the theaterization concept. We are going to have theater commanders very, very shortly. For example, the entire southern area, the coastal area, it will be by a naval officer who will be heading all the Army and the Naval and of course the Air Force forces. So this is going to have total integration. And let me tell you, for the Indian Army or the Indian Armed Forces, the jointness, I think we are one of the unique countries in the world where we have something known as the National Defense Academy. I think there the seeds of jointness is shown, and both self and Sanjay Kulkarni, we, Lieutenant General Kulkarni, we are from the same academy. India. Now, India, we undergo 3 years service where the Army, the Air Force and Naval cadets, we are together. And even after retirement, the kind of jointness we have, we keep meeting and we are course-mates, whether they are from the Air Force and Navy. So this is the foundation which has showed right from the NDA days. So this is a step in the right direction, and you have seen sometimes the three service chiefs have been from the same course of the National Defense Academy. but they are heading their respective services. So a step in the correct direction, and I'm quite sure with this concept, the way it has been reflected now as a tableau, the announcement of the theatre commanders also would be shortly, and this is going to be extremely good for the nation. For example, the northern land borders will be just looked after by one theatre commander, that is the China border. The Western theatre, another the Pakistan theatre. So this again leads into synergy, right application of force, correct downsizing, and optimum utilization of all resources. That is the essence. So you know, you don't have to move anything from left, right. You are self-contained in every manner. So a step in the right direction, and I think the nation today would feel proud that where the Indian Armed Forces might is heading, and we are doing extremely well. And not only that, I would say our defense exports, everything is going up. So we are heading in the right direction, Devika, and it's a step in the right, it's a very good step for the country.
Absolutely. I'll come back to both our guests in just a moment. But viewers, the Defence and Research and Development Organization, or the DRDO, made its presence, of course, felt at the 76th Republic Day Parade with its tableau titled Raksha Kavach, a multi-layer protection against multi-domain threats. For the first time, the indigenously developed tactical missile system called Pralay was displayed. It is designed to enhance India's strategic capabilities. The Pralay weapon system is a surface-to-surface tactical missile, which was one of the key highlights of this year's parade. The Pralay missile has a range of 150 to 500 kilometers and is capable of neutralizing a wide array of battlefield targets. With its precision and advanced technology, the missile adds a significant edge to India's tactical defense systems. But let me take that further with our guests. Let me bring back Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, if you can perhaps explain in detail to our viewers the Pralay system that has been developed by the DRDO.
See, after all, the Pralay system is basically a tactical system. You know, we are not looking at strategic depth, but something in the battlefield that we have, which has a range between 150 to 500 kilometers, that's something for the conventional tactical battlefield to ensure the complete success of the troops on ground. It is in that context the DRDO developed what is called Pralay. Pralay means a total destruction of the enemy at that point, at the targeted and at a point where we want it to be intended to use it. Now, in that context, you find DRDO with that the tableau, it had the cover system, it had the laser guided weapon systems, it had the early warning system, it had the Pralay system. So all of these, you find that this complete package that the DRDO is now getting involved. Obviously, the DRDO is looking at it from the point of view of being able to serve the three services. So all the three services, of course, the three verticals, but integration and of it, how best it could be fired from the air and also from the ground. So you have surface-to-surface missile system, you will be able to use it from the air. Now, this particular tactical system is all for the conventional battlefield. Remember, it's for the conventional. It is not with a strategic, but be able to achieve the intended destruction of the target. It is in that context we find Pralay, over a period of time, number of regiments that get inducted, that will be a subsequent thing, but it is all under display where it has been tried out at Odisha, and I think this particular Pralay tactical system would in fact be able to destroy the enemy in the conventional battlefield. Yeah.
Absolutely. With that, we move on, of course, to our next display as well at the Republic Day Parade. Next on display was the Pinaka multiple rocket launcher. Let's please put that on our screens. The Pinaka multiple rocket launcher has also been produced by the DRDO. The Pinaka has been indigenously developed and named after the mythological bow of Lord Shiv, exemplifying immense destructive power and long-range precision. As one of the most advanced rocket systems globally, the fully automated 214 mm Pinaka MLRS battery can deliver a serve of 72 rockets on the target of up to a range of 75 kilometers in 44 seconds. I'm going to quickly bring in Major General Sanjay Meston back into the conversation. Major General Sanjay Meston, if you can perhaps shed light for our viewers on the Pinaka system, sir, and how that's added to India's defense advantage.
Yeah, absolutely right. If we just analyze the Russia-Ukraine war and Israel-Hamas and Israel-Hezbollah, etc., today the multi-barrel rocket launchers, they are one of the most potent potent weapons which is being utilized, besides, of course, UAVs and missiles, etc. Now, as rightly stated, there are two versions of this. The one version, the range is 40 kilometers and the other is 75 kilometers. And they, basically, it is allotted or earmarked for the artillery units. So this is an area weapon. This gives immense advantage for the troops or the conventional operations where large number of troops are going to assault or capture an objective. So this is interdiction in the depth targets. That means to prevent any reinforcements, open logistic bases, troops in open. Because number of rockets in 44 seconds, the entire so many rounds being fired, all the rockets have been launched in a given time of 44 seconds. Imagine the impact at the target end. It's a area destructive weapon. Anything which is in that area, including I would say mechanized vehicles, tanks, they will also be impacted. Light vehicles, troops in open, logistic bases. So this helps us to carry on our operations in such a manner that interdiction means you are destroying the enemy in depth and you are preventing him to further assist the troops who are in contact in the battlefield. So that is why the different ranges are there, and you have seen how effectively the Russians have been using it against Ukrainians and vice versa. So MBRLs is a very, very good thing which we have. Earlier we had the Russian BM-21 Grad system. Now these are indigenously built systems. And I would say one thing, the DRDO of late has started doing exceedingly good. Earlier there was a little, the projects were moving in a slow space, but today the DRDO is doing exceedingly well, whether it is Pralay, whether it is Nag, whether it is, Pinaka missiles, anything. I think they have really not taken off, and rightfully so. The government of India or the Ministry of Defence has now earmarked substantial amount of funds for innovation and not only that, design and development. That means experimentation stage. That was earlier lacking. So that gives an impetus to the DRDO and other, small scale industries, etc., to start innovating and designing new things. So whatever the Indian Army requires, now the system has changed. Indian Army has to tell what we require. And therefore, the DRDO and whatever systems affiliated with it, they will start producing. So what I would say, all these things which have been produced, whether it is MBRLs, Pinaka, etc., they are going to have a great edge on the battlefield, and therefore the intent is very, very clear: destroy the enemy to its full might, whatever weapons we have. And today warfare is very, very clear. You have to have full application of all resources. You cannot only have something. So whether it is now Pinaka being fired, it will be also Pralay being fired in the depth, the air, the other missiles. When it comes to absolutely close quarter battles, then Nag. So everything. So we have got various weapon systems for various, I would say, ranges, depth, from immediate contact to tactical to intermediate and to strategic depth. So all kinds of weapon systems are available to destroy and hit the enemy simultaneously at each echelon. Devika.
All right. Next up, of course, in line is possibly India's biggest game changer. I'm talking about the Brahmos supersonic cruise missile. Already acquired by the Philippines, Brahmos has emerged as India's primary defense export product as well. Brahmos, a supersonic high-precision cruise missile, is renowned for its impressive range of 400 kilometers. This was led by Captain Surat Singh. Interestingly, in the presence was also Indonesian president, whose high-level defense delegation is expected to visit India for the possibility of a $450 million Brahmos deal as well. Let me bring back into the conversation Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, Brahmos, of course, most people do know about it, but what are some of the details that you can further shed on it for our viewers, and why is it that it's emerging to be India's most crucial defense export product so far?
Yeah, definitely. As you rightly brought out, Philippines is one. Indonesia could be another country looking for it. It's one of the finest Indo-Russian joint collaboration where we exceeded in making a beautiful Brahmos missile system. Ranges get exceeded, right now confining itself to 400 and being used by all the three services, whether it is from air, whether it's from surface, or is it from and from the water. So therefore, this particular missile system with its destructive capability, with the ability to go along the the nape of the ground and be able to hit, is what causes total destruction. It is, truly speaking, Brahmos, as the name itself indicates very clearly, between the Russians and the Indians, the collaboration and the export of it. Both Philippines having shown so much of interest into it, Indonesia is showing tremendous interest into it. Similarly, for Pinaka, we have Armenia wanting it and again being exported to it. So this indigenous weapon system have taken on as force multipliers, because not just strategic, tactical. Ultimately, strategic, yes, ranges beyond 1,000 kilometers, going up to 3,000, 4,000 kilometers, but even up to ranges up to 400 kilometers, being able to hit the target and destroy the target with a probability of just about 10 meters. Can you imagine where you intended it? Within about 10 meters, you have the target being hit. So it is with that precision and with that capability and with that speed, and by all the three services being able to utilize it, and this missile being adapted by the air, by the Navy, and by the air. Of course, the surface-to-surface missile is concerned. So it is in that context we find Brahmos is a game changer. Brahmos is a force multiplier. Brahmos is an indigenous product, and Brahmos is one which the countries have now been able to see that is so much into it which can destroy the target, and it is in that context that we have regiments which will be able to do what it is being told to do in the tactical scenario, and that is where I personally would say Brahmos is a game changer, a force multiplier. Reason why Philippines and the reason why the Indonesians may also be able to sign a project in which they have shown tremendous amount of interest. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Let me also now, of course, shift our focus to the next big display. During the 2025 Republic Day military parade, the Indian Army proudly showcased its T-90S Bhishma main battle tank, or also known as an MBT. It's a centerpiece of our defense capabilities. This modern main battle tank has become synonymous with India's armored warfare strength, symbolizing the close and long-standing military ties between India and Russia. The T-90S is the backbone of the Indian Army's armored formations, alongside the domestically produced Arjun and the older T-72. Let me bring Major General Sanjay Meston into the conversation. Major General Sanjay Meston, what can you tell our viewers about the Bhishma system, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. I will just add on something to Brahmos before that. You know, today diplomacy, defense diplomacy, they are very, very important aspects in relation building between various nations. But today Brahmos is also heading to that direction. It is like a strategic partnership. Countries are now going to demand, so it will help us to have strategic alliances with large number of nations. Many nations today will start taking Brahmos, and to the extent I am quite sure within the next one odd year, our exports, because of Brahmos itself will give us about $3 billion US. So total exports maybe in the next 1 to 2 years may touch around $10 billion. So that is what the importance of Brahmos is. Many countries in the world are going to demand that. Now coming on to T-90 Bhishma. See, firstly, this is the weapon which is basically with the armored core. That means we have infantry, we have armored core, we have artillery. So armored means they are having these vehicles, armored fighting vehicles, to be basically operating in the plains of Punjab, in the deserts. And of course, today even we have started putting these tanks way back in Sikkim, and including in higher altitude areas of Leh, Ladakh, etc., including in DBO. So now, what is the specialty of Bhishma? See, T-90 tanks earlier were being imported from Russia, rightfully stated by you, but now they are being manufactured in CVD Avadi. And the production is onto a large scale. Everything is indigenized now. Everything, including the main gun. The gun is 125 smooth barrel gun, and of course it is a coaxial machine gun, which can even take on small flying aircrafts at a close range, close height, and of course it's also got missiles fitted in that and a normal 7.62 mmg. So this is one of the latest weapons, and it is basically a potent, I would say, system. Where the armored regiments are given these tanks. So this makes a deep incursion. It's got the best of night fighting capabilities, night vision devices. So it's a very potent vehicle or an armored fighting vehicle, and it gives us a lot of advantage. It's a shock action against the enemy, firepower, protection, and flexibility. The maneuverability of these tanks is exceedingly good. So to sum it up, India is doing extremely well. And for the armored units in our country, I'm quite sure with the period of time, most of them will start having T90. Right now, some of the units are also having T92, T72. But T90 today is one of the best versions, and we'll upgrade this also. And the way things are going on, of course, Arjun is there, the MBT Arjun. That also, as on date, I think one of the regiments has got that, probably based in Jaisalmer. So overall, Bhishma T90 is a very, very good tank, very effective tank, and it will pay dividends in the battlefield, and especially in the Western theatre. It's got a lot of its application against our adversary, that is Pakistan. And even high altitude areas, now this is being employed. So it gives us a lot of tactical military advantage in battlefield. Devika.
Okay, all right. And of course, viewers, the showstoppers of the day were India's fighter jets. The low-flying Rafale aircraft executed a spectacular victory roll, leaving the crowd along the Kartavya Path mesmerized as the 76th Republic Day parade came to a memorable close on Sunday. The impressive aerial stunts performed by 3 Sukhoi 30 fighter jets, which streaked over Kartavya Path at 900 kmph before breaking into a Trishul formation above the India Gate, also left the large audience stunned. Let's quickly look at this formation, and then, of course, I take one last comment from our guests.
Air dominance fighter aircraft flying at a speed of 900 kilometers per hour.
3 Su-30 विमान जिनका विजय नाद सुनकर रोमांच महसूस किया जा सकता है, हवा में विलीन होते हुए त्रिशूल फॉर्मेशन बनाते हुए.
Having pulled up, watch the leader going further up and the wingmen spitting to cast a trishul or a trident up in the air. Formation led by Group Captain Manish Arora.
और अब रोमांच की पराकाष्ठा.
All right, there you heard it, viewers. Let me leave the last word with Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, of course, this always leaves everyone. Every year as we watch the Republic Day parade, this leaves everyone extremely stunned when we watch our the Air Force performing these stunts in the sky. But as far as the Sukhoi and Rafale concerns, sir, how do they add to India's defense prowess?
They are not only show stealers on a Republic Day, but the pilots are absolute professionals. Beat Rafales. We saw the introduction of Rafales at a time when things were heating up in Galwan. Entire change. The aircraft, the fighter aircraft of 4.5 generation is something seen to be believed. And on the Republic Day, on the Kartavya Path, when people themselves see the kind of total acrobatic when they're performing up in the air, is indicative that they can perform to the best of our ability. These are the fighters which will defend. They will destroy the targets wherever intended to be, and they are actual force multipliers. the Air Force, the strong Air Force that we have, though the number of squadrons that we would want them, they slowly and steadily will get on to the number of squadrons of 42 that we need at this point of time. But notwithstanding, these kind of aircraft, 4.5 generation, and the kind of aircraft that the Chinese have, the kind of aircraft that the Chinese are exporting to the Pakis, I think at this point of time, to have such aircraft is a real show changer, a force multiplier, and something that can instill confidence amongst the millions of Indians, number one. Number two, it also enhances the morale of the troops on the ground when they see such professionalism and such fighter aircraft which can destroy the targets.
Right, absolutely. With that, I've run out of time, but I thank both of our guests for joining us on the broadcast to take us through their educative exercise. With our viewers, we slip into a very quick break. More news coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.